We're live. Hello, everybody. I have a new camera, so hopefully it won't die 15 minutes into the stream. Look, it's so crisp. It looks so nice. I can see all of my little dry skin nicks and cracks now. It's great. Yeah, so I did finish penciling this page off stream. I took a little time lapse of it. I'll probably upload as like a shorts video or something like that, or put it on Instagram or what have you. So you can see me finish drawing this. But I wanted to get us to the point where we could start inking this week because, eventually I have to actually, you know, finish this page and upload it. Hey, Hungry. Hey, Spud. Thanks so much for joining me, y'all. All right, so we have a penciled and lettered page ready to start inking. I just got my new camera. It just came in today. I was worried it wasn't going to come in time because originally the ship estimate wasn't until tomorrow, and I was like, oh no. I also just got this in the mail today. It's a replacement for my Tachikawa nib holder that broke, and it came with a bunch of G nibs, and I've actually never used the G nibs before, so I'm gonna try it a little bit on this page and see how it works. And if I hate it, then we'll go back to the regular Hunt Crow quills that I use. Oh, one problem with this. I need like I need a different bottle to put this ink in, because this is what happens as I go to makes a mess. Makes a mess. I think I need to repot that ink because that's just, I haven't even used it yet and I've made a mess. To see what we can do about that. All right. Let's see. I do have some straight lines to do in this tumbled down pile of stuff back here. Oh, she definitely wants a light touch. It's very flexible. It does not take much to get that nib to separate, which can make for a very good dynamic line, but if that's not necessarily what you're trying to do, I think I'm going to experiment with that a little bit more, probably after the stream, but I need to get this ink into something different. All right, let's try this, because I can't fit it in the... This makes you guys so nervous when I do this too. We're going to put it in a palette. And see if that, at least then I won't be like dunking my whole pen directly into the bottle and getting it all gunky. All right, so we're going to move this. I'm going to rearrange my little side table over here a little bit. All right, we'll try that. We'll see if this works better. Is this gonna work better? Because I still can't get the depth I would like to. I need a different bottle. I can at least get a little bit on there. At least I'm not getting it all gross. It's a pretty nice line. Let's see how fine I can get it. Clean off my straight edge here. Well, how has everybody been? I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, if you do Thanksgiving, or just like a chill week in the meantime. Since last we all were together. See, that's working pretty well. Let's see if we do some finer lines back here. It's doing pretty good on the fine lines. There's like a piece of fuzz on my paper. Yeah, so for those of you who were not here last week, the story of what happened is my camera had been acting kind of squirrely for just like the week previous. And it was being kind of weird trying to get set up for the stream. It was throwing some errors and being difficult and just like and in ways that don't make sense, right? So I'm not like I'm not tech savvy by any means, but I can tell if something makes sense. Like, if the way that it is malfunctioning is like, "Oh, seems like a hardware issue," or, "Oh, seems like a software issue." And this was like "Oh, seems like that makes no sense, and the things that it is doing do not make any logical sense. Why would you do that?" And then I got it to like I had to like restart my computer and futz with stuff, and I got it to work ahead of the stream last week. And then I was in the stream for like 15 minutes and I sneezed. And when I sneezed, I like just kind of just like barely did a little like tap and it stopped working. And I could not get it back. Like, my little control panel and YouTube and everything were just like, "No, what camera? There's no camera there. What are you talking about?" It just was straight up dead. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So, the good news is that since it happened the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, there were a lot of, like, pretty decent sales going on, and I was able to find a replacement that was actually an upgrade. It's so looking very nice. I don't know how well, like, my, internet connection is relaying the niceness that I'm seeing on my end to you. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I do live in the wilderness, and my internet is kind of crappy sometimes, but let me know if you like how it looks, if it's looking good, or if, my internet is just choking and dying on it, and you're just getting a bunch of pixelated, garbled nonsense. It's pretty nice, looking good, thanks. I'm so glad, cause yeah, I was also concerned about, like it's like the tricky thing of, like, if I upgrade, is it even gonna make a difference? Because my internet's not great. Say this GNIB seems to be working pretty well. I know a lot of people swear by them, I had just never tried them. I've used the Neko school nibs for lettering for years, I really love those. But I had not tried these G-nibs for rendering before. I think it's working pretty good. I will say that out of the directly out of the package, it's certainly a lot nicer to work with than a fresh, Crowquill, 'cause the fresh hunt nibs are just, they're a little bit too sharp, and they kind of, tear up the paper really badly, and so you're kind of fighting with them snagging on the paper and getting fibers caught in them. This does not seem to be doing that, but I'm still getting a really nice point, so that's pretty cool. I kind of feel like the metal is just better quality on this too, and that might have a lot to do with it. Oh, it helps if I actually get ink in the nib when I do this. Like how I'm like, "Oh, this nib is great," and then it just immediately stops working. Thanks. Look so steady with your hand, but when I draw, I shake a lot and mess it up. Oh, I didn't even realize this is somebody else. Hello, Hushy. I'm sorry, I did not realize that was somebody new. Happy to have you. Um, yeah, I will say that my hand isn't always quite this steady. It depends on how much I've been working that particular day and what else I've been doing. I can definitely have times where my hand is less steady. Obviously, first thing in the morning, if I've just had a cup of coffee, I'm a little bit more. I also was drawing before, working on something else before the stream started, so that gave me a chance to get warmed up. Because kinda like any other muscle or anything like that, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of different muscles in your arm when you're drawing, but you gotta warm up a little bit, either by, sketching or working on something that's in an earlier stage. So I was working on some pencils and an illustration, so it's like if I mess those up, if they're not coming out quite right, I can just erase them. It's not a big deal. So I generally try not to jump straight into inking if I can help it in my workflow, just because it's better to warm up with something else and give your hand a chance to kind of work out any stiffness or any kind of resistance that you might be getting at the beginning that could be leading to some of that jitteriness. Yeah, and it can be really hard, especially if you're eager to jump into something. The comment was that Hushy was saying they should probably warm up more, and it can be really hard, especially when you're eager to jump into something and you're just like, "Oh, I just wanna start on this thing." But that's a lot of times where you will get a little bit of like, you won't be you'll be a little bit more shaky, you'll be a little bit more stiff. So if you can warm up either with a sketch or with working on something where you're not doing, like, the final stage, you're doing something like pencils where you can erase it and go back over it and give it another shot if it's not quite coming out right. Um, that's just usually, if at all possible, it's a better way to do it. You're just gonna get better results and be less frustrated that way if you can. Oh, dang, this makes some really nice fine hatching lines. Okay, lesson learned. I shouldn't be so stubborn about just using the same art supplies I've been using for 15 years. Should maybe occasionally try new things. I say that, but I do. I do try new things sometimes. It's just that a lot of times I don't like them that much, and then I just feel like I wasted money on art supplies that I didn't like. All right, I do need to clean that off a little bit though. All right, let's go ahead and do the details on Drake here. Which always looks a little silly since I'm going to fill him in with black later. And it's like, what is with all these weird little silhouettes on him? It makes sense once it's all done. Just looks kind of silly right now. All the little blades of grass. Do, do, do. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What is so next week's stream? I'm gonna have to. Will be the last one for this. That's part of why I finished the penciling off stream because I only have time to do one more. I think. No, wait. Is it next week? Oh no, I would have one more week. I think. One more after that, maybe possibly. I don't know. I gotta look. I can't remember. I don't remember what page we're on. I never remember what page is actually on because I tend to be a little bit ahead. Well, thankfully, sometimes I tend to be a little bit ahead. And so then it's like, wait. Which page is on the internet right now? I don't remember. Maybe we have 2 more after this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long this takes to get through too, because after this first panel, there's not as much of the like intensive background work either. This definitely has the most. Grass, grass, grass. Some big tall grass right here. All right. We gotta get these little mountainy bits in the background. Oh, thank you. Yeah, doing wood grain is a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite textures to render. Get this all nice and filled in. All right, yay! That's all the nib inking on the first panel. Now we can go on to the next panel. I need to clean off my nib. Okay, this trying to pour my ink into the paint palette is only kind of sort of working because it's kind of like it's still kind of shallow and it's like trying to dry on there almost as fast as I'm using it. Gotta find a better solution. I don't know why the people who make the Royal Talons ink decided, I know, let us make this extremely tiny opening to our bottle of ink so that you can't actually fit a larger nib holder in it. It's great. Love it. Because this isn't even like that big. So like this one is like the same, pretty much the exact same profile as like the plastic version of this. This certainly doesn't fit in there. About the only thing that even don't look too hard at this. It's very sad. Even this one, my lettering one. The reason it's all gunky around the end here is because I gotta like it just barely fits. So like why? Why was it designed that way? Why did you make such a small opening to your bottle of ink? What am I supposed to fit in there? The only thing that fits in there is this, like comfortably, without a struggle, is this crappy little thing. I hate it. That's what I got this to replace that because I can use the little nibs on this too. You can see the extra little round bit in the middle there. That's so you can hold a smaller nib. Because a lot of the other nice wooden nib holders that I have only do the larger ones. They don't do the smaller ones. But this one does both. So I'm very excited about that. I wasn't sure if I would like the rubber grippy, but I like the rubber grippy. It feels pretty nice. I'm thinking this is actually just going to be like a spot black in the middle there, but we'll have the edges be pretty textured still. All right, so what else do we have going on at this point? This coming weekend, I'm going to be going to PAX Unplugged. I'll be working for Victory Condition Gaming, which is the company that runs the Free League booth. So I'll be part of the Free League crew for the weekend with my buddy Doug Shute. We're going to have a bunch of other cool people there. Hexeter's going to be there. Higgins is going to be there. John Marin. Asha. Lots of cool people. I'm looking forward to it. Not to mention, like, all of the people. And that's just in our crew. This isn't even getting into all of the tons of cool people who are going to be there from, like, all over gaming. And I will probably not have time to spend with even half of the ones I would like to, because there's just too many awesome people. But if you're going to be at PAX Unplugged, anyone who is watching this, come by and say hi. I'll be at the Free League booth, like, pretty much all the time that the show floor is open. Rocket Art Man, hello, fellow comic book creator. How are you doing this evening? Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Making progress. This is a page from my webcomic, Age of Night. This page will be going up in like 3 or 4 more weeks. I can't remember. I'm currently far enough ahead that I'm confused about which page I'm on online. I have to go and check. It doesn't take much. I really only have to get like a couple weeks ahead, and then I'm just like, wait, where am I? All right. I'm not sure if I want those mountains a little bit darker or not. I think that decision is gonna have to wait until I actually do the brush inking on the figure in this shadow here and see if that spot black if it'll work with them the tone that they currently are, or if I need them a little bit darker. I just don't wanna overdo it and have the panel end up being, like, way too heavy, so I'm gonna leave it here for right now, and I'm just gonna write a little note to myself off in the margins to check in on that later. Because sometimes you gotta come back and take another pass on these things. Because that I'm just not sure. I'm just not entirely sure how it's gonna balance with that. I can usually visualize pretty well, but, when in doubt, it's okay. I can always add more ink, but I can't really take it off very easily, so I think I've got a piece of something on my pen nib. Got some gunk happening. Spud says, "Love the scratching sound of the nib. These Tuesday shows are so calming. You've fallen down the rabbit hole of watching young Earth creation evolution debunking videos, which always get me riled up." Yeah, I can relate. I end up watching a lot of like people doing takedowns of people like having just generally very gross uh takes about, you know, life. People who are like, you know, debunking bad relationship takes or bad child rearing takes or bad just like bigoted nonsense or sexist nonsense or whatever. And like those can be like really entertaining, especially when the people that they're making fun of are just like patently ridiculous. But yeah, it can also be a little bit stressful because then you're like, why? Why? Why are you like this? Why is the world like this? And it can get you a little bit riled. I appreciate that feeling. I also personally deal with enough aggravation in my day. So something calming is nice. Ones you described are the same people that you watch too. If you have one bad opinion, they go hand in hand. Right. Yeah, some people it's just like, "Man, what is going on? Like, what universe do you live in? What is happening here?" It's like it gets to a point where you kinda wonder, like, how do you, like, do things? How do you, like, exist in the world with other people? I feel like, some people are so divorced from reality that it's like, how do you, like, not walk into walls and stuff? I just don't get it. Like, I feel like at a certain point, this would inhibit your ability to just function. When it seems like everything you say makes no sense. Are you okay? All the little dots. Lots of little dots. Hey, someone sane. So glad you're able to join us. I have a new camera that will hopefully not randomly die with the stream. Well, I really hope it doesn't because it was not cheap. So hoping it will last me for many, many years. Yes, me too. That was extremely frustrating last week where my stream just cut out and died and I couldn't get it to come back. And I was just like, no. Alright, we're going to do some scumbling now. Let's see how this works. Yeah, I'm glad my camera came in time. When I ordered this, it said it wasn't gonna be here until Wednesday, and I was like, "No! I have to stream on Tuesday." And then this morning, I got the notification that it was out for delivery, and I was like, "Ah, ah, I might actually get to stream tonight." COVID first started, everyone was doing Zoom. It was hard to get a camera. Yeah. True facts. Thankfully, that was not the case. It was a little bit funny right after my camera died, and then one of my friends was like, "Oh, this is the camera that I use if you're looking for a replacement." And I was like, "That's the one that just died." Like, they linked me literally the exact same camera I had that had just crapped out on me. I'm like, "It was working great, and then it wasn't." Which, I mean, like, I got, like, 6 years out of the 5 or 6 years out of that camera, so, I mean, it's not bad. It was just, yeah, 6 years. I got about 6 years out of that camera, which is not terrible for a piece of tech. It's just frustrating because I, am from an ancient time in which things should last longer than that. But I will refrain from getting on that rant because I don't want to start telling kids to get off my lawn.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, you can complain about kids getting off our lawn. Hooray! Look at all that. That came out very nice. Gotta clean this off again real quick. Get that. Let's not immediately get you all gunky the very first time that I use you. All right, we're about okay. Oh, it says I think it's a warranted concern. We're too complacent with throwaway items creating too much trash. Exactly. Exactly. And it's just ridiculous, especially when it comes to things that are not cheap. Like that webcam when it was new was not cheap. And it's also still not cheap. Like it's not like a little 720p camera. It was a 1080p camera. There is they're still not like super affordable. It's not the kind of thing that you just spend 20 bucks on. Like, yeah, they were on a good deal this week, but they're not cheap. And only having them last for 6 years is kind of like, really? I have to spend another $80 or so on this every couple of years? Like, that seems kind of ridiculous. And I'm sorry, I am ending up talking about the kids needing to get off my lawn. But yes, the adding to the waste, absolutely infuriates me. I hate that. I hate, like, not having any choice but to contribute to waste when I'm very opposed to that personally. I get very frustrated when stuff that's supposed to be higher quality or, like, stuff that is more expensive is still cheaply made and still falls apart or does not work properly from the get-go. 'Cause, like, I bought a last winter, I had to get a toward the end of winter, I had to get a new coat because my previous winter coat was falling apart. And I was like, "Okay, I will get a new coat. Cool, not a problem, but I'm not gonna get a cheap coat because I want it to last." I got not a cheap coat from a company that is supposed to make quality items, and the zipper doesn't work properly. Like, I it was fine the first it was fine, like, the first couple of months that I wore it, and then I put it away for the summer, and this fall, when I started wearing it again, I got friggin' stuck in it because the zipper wouldn't work properly, and I'm just like, "Really? Like, come on. Come on." It's just ridiculous, and it's not like a one-off, this has been a trend. But anyway, we're in the last 10 or so minutes of the stream, so I'm just going to go over the YouTube things again very quickly and say that I'm Amanda Call, and this is my YouTube channel where I work on art, usually comic pages for my comic Age of Night, which is what I'm working on right now. Sometimes other stuff, but a lot of the times this is what I'm working on. This is Age of Night, chapter 28, page 34. We're up to page 29 or 30 online right now. I don't remember. You'd have to go look, but you can find it out at ageofnight.com. That's ageofnight.com. I upload a new page every Wednesday, and the entire thing is available online to read for free. However, if you would like to help support me making comics and making this like a thing that I do, there's a few different options to do that. The first 3 volumes of the comic are compiled into bound volumes, which you can buy on Drive-Thru Comics, on Amazon, on Skirmisher Publishing's website. You can buy them from me at an event if you see me somewhere. You got options. You can also support me on Patreon. Patrons always get their comic pages a week early and get to see other like little behind the scenes sneak peeks, other comics that I'm working on. You get free comics just for signing up. Lots of cool stuff. And that's patreon.com/Age of Night. What else? This weekend, I will not be doing an art event, but I will be at PAX Unplugged. I'm actually working in the Free League booth for the weekend. So if you happen to be at PAX Unplugged, stop by and say hi. I'd love to see you. And then the following weekend, I will be at the Bangor Public Library's authors book fair festival thing. I forget what they're calling it. Literary authors fest. I forget what the exact name is. There's a lot of words in the name of this event, but basically it's a book fair of local art authors, and I will be there selling copies of Age of Night and some of my other comics. So, yeah, if you're in the Bangor area, you should definitely check it out because that should be a good time. That'll be the December 9th. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. All right, I think that's going to do it for this evening. I only have one panel of bit inking left to do and the brush inking, so we'll probably get through most of that next week. We'll see how we end up. So we started this stream with none of the inking done. I had all the pencils and the lettering done, but we got through all of this inking in this hour. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.